The Hyundai Santa Fe calligraphy. What's that? I don't know, I've never done calligraphy before, but what you know is it's the highest trim level. With some adjustments for features here and there, it's about $42,000. Now, of course, you can get it for much less, but that's on you. Let's talk about the interior and exterior. I did a video on this thing in 2019, which I really loved it. I liked how it was a little bit forward, but it had a lot of modern amenities. This just ups the game. I mean, this is a game changer here, guys. Take a look at the exterior briefly. Look at those headlights. Oh, you want them. You want those bumpers? You got them. The choice is, do you want that exterior and this interior? Well, I don't know. Let's talk about the interior space. It's got that forward-thinking design that the Hyundai engineers plastered on the outside. Look at the speaker grills, for example. There's this little mountainous undulations in here. That's the way I like my terrain or topology. The door panels have a good use of materials. You have hard plastics where you need them, you have leathers, and then of course you have some shiny material that's not piano black. So everything's gonna wear quite well. The seats in here are ultra comfortable. There's tons of headroom, leg room, shoulder room. This has a good feel to grow into it. I could pack on the pounds, whether it's 400 to 800 pounds, I'm still gonna fit in here. The back seats are ultra comfortable too. Becca and Jason just got done at my family barbecue. I smoked some meats. They were maxed out, and they were giving me some lip, and there was so much room in here I couldn't reach behind myself and smack them with my backhand. The back cargo capacity is great for a two-row. It's exactly what you expect. The load floor is a little bit high, but you know what? That hasn't stopped me from loading it full of luggage to pack myself up to permanently leave my family to Cancun. Now, what else do you want to know? The center stack has been redone. All the buttons and switches are physical, and it may look like a cluttered mess, but let me tell you, it's way easier to figure out than having to go through the touch screen for every single thing. Speaking of which, the infotainment has been updated. You get two options. You get a big screen or a small screen. Just depends on how big you like it. The Harman Kardon audio system is really good in here, and partly the interior design helps that. The microfiber headliner, some of the absorptive materials that are in here just makes it for just a luscious listening experience. I'm going to put the audio charts in here, but this is definitely one of the better Harman audio systems that I've heard without even seeing the graphs. So I think you're going to like this space. It's well designed, well thought out, super comfortable. Now we just need to talk tech with Jack Singapore in the shop.
Mark, the all-new, or at least all-refreshed, 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe.
My mom said I was going to be somebody someday, and here I am, and I'm underneath another Santa Fe for the third time.
Incredible. You've reached new peaks. It's time for snowmobiling. So, Mark, what does an all-new Santa Fe mean, or at least all-new updated one? Well, you have a dramatically altered interior, which you've just spoken about, and new exterior body metal, or at least sheet metal on the outside, which has reduced the coefficient of drag from 0.34 to 0.33.
Fucking incredible.
It's mind-blowing, Mark. You also get all-new drivetrains. So gone are the 2 liters. Now you have 2 different 2.5s. You have a 2.5 naturally aspirated engine, which has both port and direct injected, makes about 190, 184 foot-pounds of torque, about the same in horsepower. Then you have the 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, which is also port and direct injected, makes 311 foot-pounds of torque, like 270 or 280 horsepower, which is an 18% increase over the prior generation vehicle. You also get 2 different gearboxes. The naturally aspirated 4-cylinder gets an 8-speed automatic, while the higher output turbocharged engine gets a wet dual clutch, which we've seen in the past.
Like this one we're driving.
Yes, and this also has the optional all-wheel drive system as well, which is torque vectoring front to rear, but not side to side.
Which torque vectoring by brake.
Yes.
Not mechanical torque vectoring. This is a lot of what we've seen from Hyundai and Kia, but this is more refined. Tell me about that.
So they've increased body rigidity for this refresh. They've added more high-strength steels. They've also reduced the noise floor, which means the cabin is quieter than it's been in the past. And they've also upgraded the brake system. You have a larger brake booster and larger rotors, which should help with stopping distances, but more importantly, it should allow you to have longer intervals in between replacements between rotors because you have a higher thermal capacity.
Makes sense. The biggest thing that I noticed from the previous generations of this is the use of this type of material.
Yes.
It's different in the wheel wells now to reduce cross noise from tire noise and road noise, and it is way quieter. definitely driving this, and we're going to talk about that during the drive, there are more frequency isolators. There are now a frequency damper on the front strut, and there is one also located on the rear trailing arm. So part of what Hyundai and Kia is doing is trying to give you that more upmarket feel without killing you with the cost. So there's very sparse use of aluminum here, but they put the money where it needs to go to appeal to the demographic or the buyer of this type of vehicle. And I think that's a great time, Jack.
Let's hit the road, Mark.
Thanks. Let's do it. Jack, the updated Santa Fe, we got some turbo power here, 2.5 liters.
All right, hit me, Mark. My vision blurred there, Mark.
Oh, the G-force almost lost consciousness.
The blood started all draining into my legs, Mark.
The blood started draining into my
Your tent region?
Yeah, my four heads. No, we won't talk about that. I think this is when you drop this off, and obviously I've driven the previous 2 generations of this car, and every generation it gets better and better. With the turbocharged 2.5 and all-wheel drive, this thing is really quick. And it manages the power well, unlike the front-wheel drive variant. So, this is the ideal combination for a couch on wheels like this. And this, to me, feels much like a Telluride in so many ways. And I know they said this about the Sorento being the mini Telluride. This is far more like the Telluride than that.
This reminds me so much of the Telluride Palisade, and in a good way. For this price segment of SUV, it is remarkable in what they've accomplished. This is $42,000.
And this is obviously this is the highest trim. Yeah.
You compare this to a RAV4 from Toyota, which you and I both think is one of the best entry-level SUVs you can possibly buy. You compare this to the limited trim. It's a very, very impressive SUV. It feels like a segment more expensive in here.
Yeah, they do a good job with that, and obviously we talked about that in the interior in great lengths. So, you know, the deal with this is you're not buying it for that.
No.
You're buying it for the comfort factor, and they know exactly the target demographic that's going to buy this. They want entry-level luxury or luxury car feel and really supple ride, and that's what it does best. The transmission tuning's finally not horrible. They finally got that right. The engine tuning is pretty damn good for a daily driver. All the tech, including lane keep assist, all the safety suite, is probably, if not one of the best in the industry. From like mainstream.
It is the best at this price point. It's better than what Ford offers. It's way better than what Toyota offers. And what Honda does, it does a very good job. If you are looking for a SUV in this price category, 30s to low 40s, this has to be on your list. If you're looking for a non-sporty SUV that is a luxury car-like experience, it's quieter than the prior generation. It's very, very soft. The interior is highly functional.
It's soft without being shitty to drive, too. I want to get that across. This is not like a total boat. There's a lot of control, which we're going to show you here in a minute, but there's not a lot really to complain about here.
No,
honestly,
really.
In the driving experience. Again, with all-wheel drive and the faster motor, you can get this thing flying, and it's way more power than the average person, or like if you consider this a mommy mobile.
Yeah,
this is going to tear it up.
Yeah.
You know, for like a regular person that gets in there, they're going to be like, holy shit. I mean, maybe not that extreme, but it is good. And this is what I like about Hyundai and Kia. Their ability to continually evolve their cars not just evolve it in like 10 years. They've been able to turn this stuff around like 2 or 3 years. And man, it's hard to compete with this.
To me, it's hard to complain about. If you're coming out of an American car, oh my God, this is going to blow you away.
With that said, Jack, let's head into the shop for some of the final thoughts on this.
All right. Just incredible.
Final thoughts on the Hyundai Santa Fe. There's no doubt I like this thing. I liked the last one in 2019, and now there's just a lot more to like. We covered the changes. All the changes made it better. The question is, in a market flooded with SUVs and CUVs, is this the one for you? Well, the fact is, they've improved the things that matter to a buyer of this type of product. It's got to be soft, it's got to be comfortable, and the tech has to be great. And that's what this does best. With all-wheel drive and the turbocharged four-popper, this thing's got more than enough power for any normal person. It's got good cargo capacity. There's just very few things to complain about. And the trim level spread across quite a gamut. This is obviously on the expensive end, but even then, they are smart about what you're getting for around $40,000. Now, the issue is, well, you know, some of the plastics, the fitment on the interior is not the best, and this is just nitpicky stuff. Getting a front-wheel drive car is typically a mess with the Hyundai setup with the 2.5 liter, so I would stay away from that. And then if you're heading over to your local Hyundai dealership where Tony Salami's been working there since before Jesus was born, he's probably going to pull a bait and switch on you, especially in this market where there's not a lot of inventory out there. So definitely do your negotiation on the phone and make sure you pick a Hyundai dealership with great reviews. And I think you're really going to like driving this thing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.